I thought hitting my husband had no consequences. Now I'm living with my parents again. I'm sitting on the edge of my bed in our master bedroom, staring at the reflection of a woman I barely recognize. My mascara is smudged under my eyes, and my hair is pulled back in a messy bun that hasn't been washed in 3 days. This can't be happening, I think to myself, scrolling through old photos on my phone. How did I end up back in my childhood bedroom at 33? 6 months ago, I would have laughed if someone told me I'd be here, divorced, broke, and living with my parents while Michael thrives without me. But here I am, surrounded by my teenage posters and stuffed animals my mom never had the heart to throw away. I remember when it all started to unravel. We were at Ridgewood Park for our friend's annual summer barbecue last July. I'm standing near the volleyball court, red Solo cup in hand, already on my 3rd vodka cranberry. The sun beats down on my shoulders, and I can feel sweat beading at my hairline, but I don't care. I'm buzzed and feeling invincible. Michael is over by the grill with Ben and Tyler, flipping burgers and looking so ordinary. My husband has always been dependable, steady, the kind of guy who remembers oil changes and takes out the garbage without being asked. At 35, he's built a respectable career as an architectural engineer. Not exactly exciting, but stable. Natalia. Cassie waves me over to where she's sitting with some of the other wives on picnic blankets under a cluster of oak trees. We were just talking about the resort Carter took me to for our anniversary. I roll my eyes dramatically as I plop down beside them. Must be nice. I'll be lucky if Michael remembers our anniversary at all. Oh, come on, Rachel says. Michael's such a sweetheart. I snort and take another swig of my drink. Yeah, if you like boring, the man hasn't surprised me in years. I don't notice the conversation around me quieting, don't register the meaningful glances exchanged between my friends. At least he's reliable, Cassie offers, her tone suddenly careful. Reliable is just another word for predictable, I say, louder than necessary. God, sometimes I just want to shake him or something, you know? Wake him up a little. I laugh, not noticing Michael standing behind me, plates of food in his hands, his expression frozen. Dinner's ready, he says quietly, setting the plates down and walking away. I think, whatever, he's being too sensitive again. But I can feel the energy has shifted. Rachel won't meet my eyes. Later that night, I'm sprawled across our living room couch, scrolling mindlessly through social media. Michael sits in the armchair across from me, reading something on his tablet. The silence between us feels heavy, but I'm too stubborn to break it. Finally, he speaks. Do you really think I'm boring? I glance up, annoyed at the interruption. Oh my God, are you still on that? It was just a joke. It didn't sound like a joke, he says, his voice steady. It sounded like something you've been thinking for a while. I roll my eyes. Don't be so sensitive. Everyone vents about their spouse sometimes. There's a difference between venting and disrespect, Natalia. Something in his tone makes me look up. His eyes are sad, disappointed. It makes me uncomfortable, so I lash out. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You're so uptight. Everything has to be analyzed and dissected. Can't you just let things go? He sets his tablet down carefully. I've let a lot of things go over the years. What's that supposed to mean? I demand, sitting up. It means I'm tired of being your punching bag. The constant criticism, the eye rolls, the little digs in front of our friends. Oh, please, I interrupt, waving my hand dismissively. If you can't handle a little teasing. It's not teasing when it's constant, and it's not teasing when you mean it, he says quietly. I deserve better. The calm certainty in his voice triggers something in me. Fear, maybe, though I won't admit it. Instead, I get up from the couch and walk toward him. You deserve better? After everything I put up with? My voice rises with each word. Your boring job talks, your stupid video games, your... It happens so fast. My hand connects with his cheek before I even realize what I'm doing. The sound of the slap seems to echo in our living room. Michael doesn't yell, doesn't retaliate. He just looks at me with an expression I've never seen before, a mixture of shock, hurt, and something else. Resolve. I'm going to Greg's for the night, he says, standing up. We'll talk tomorrow. I watch him grab his keys and wallet, too stunned to respond. As the front door closes behind him, I think, he'll be back. He always comes back. But he doesn't come back that night. Or the next. I'm standing in our driveway on a Sunday afternoon, watching him load a suitcase into his car 3 days later. This is ridiculous, I say, arms crossed over my chest. You're overreacting. Michael closes the trunk and turns to face me. His eyes are red-rimmed but dry. I'm not coming back, Natalia. I laugh, but it sounds hollow even to me. Of course you are. Where else would you go? I signed a lease on an apartment yesterday. I'll be staying there until we figure out what to do at the house. The reality of the situation starts to sink in and panic rises in my throat. You can't just leave. We had a fight. Couples fight. That wasn't a fight, he says. You hit me, but even before that. He sighs. This has been over for a long time. I just didn't want to see it. One slap? That's all it takes to throw away 5 years of marriage? I can hear the desperation creeping into my voice. It didn't even leave a mark. He looks at me for a long moment. Would you be saying that if I had slapped you? The question hits me like a bucket of cold water. I open my mouth, then close it again. That's what I thought, he says softly. I'll call you tomorrow about arrangements for the rest of my things. As he drives away, I stand frozen in the driveway, thinking he's just trying to scare me. He'll be back by dinner. 2 weeks later, I'm sitting at the Copper Lantern, our town's trendiest brunch spot, across from my best friend Diana. The patio is crowded with Sunday brunchers, and the scent of coffee and syrup hangs in the air. Have you tried calling him again? Diana asks, stirring her mimosa. I push my eggs Benedict around my plate. He won't answer, just sends texts about practical matters, bills, mail, that kind of thing. And you're sure about what happened? You actually? Diana lets the question hang. Yes, I slapped him, I admit, dropping my voice. But it wasn't like domestic violence or anything. It was one time, in the heat of the moment. Diana winces. Nat, honey, that's exactly what domestic violence is. Oh, please, I scoff. Michael is 6 feet tall, I'm 5'4", I couldn't hurt him if I tried. It's not always about physical damage, Diana says carefully. Look, I love you, but what you did crossed a line. Michael has always been good to you. I feel a flash of anger. Whose side are you on? Yours, she says firmly, which is why I'm telling you that you need to take this seriously. Apologize, really apologize, and maybe consider talking to someone. A therapist? I don't need therapy because of one slap. Diana takes a sip of her mimosa. Maybe it's not just about the slap. Michael's been unhappy for a while, hasn't he? I think about all the times I've dismissed his interests, rolled my eyes at his jokes, criticized his clothes. The night I forgot his work function because I wanted to go to a concert instead. The birthday when I gave him a gym membership because I thought he was getting a little soft. I thought that's just how marriage was, I mumble. You get comfortable. You don't have to pretend anymore. There's a difference between being comfortable and being cruel, Nat. Her words sting, and I feel defensive all over again. You know what? I don't need this. Michael will come around, he always does. But as I drive home, Diana's words echo in my head. Has Michael always been unhappy? Have I been cruel? 1 month after Michael moved out, I'm walking through Westfield Mall, shopping bags in hand, trying to fill the emptiness with retail therapy. I've just maxed out my credit card on designer shoes I can't really afford when I spot him. Michael is sitting at a table in the food court, laughing with a woman I don't recognize. She's pretty in an understated way. Dark curly hair, minimal makeup, a genuine smile. They're sharing a pretzel, and he looks happy. Happier than I've seen him in years. I duck behind a pillar, heart racing. Who is she? I think, jealousy burning in my stomach. It's only been a month. I watch them for a few more minutes, noting how animated Michael seems. He's gesturing with his hands the way he does when he's excited about something. The woman says something, and he throws his head back in laughter. It's a sound I haven't heard in so long, I'd almost forgotten what it sounds like. Before I can stop myself, I'm walking toward their table. Having fun? I ask, my voice brittle. Michael looks up, surprised. Natalia. Aren't you going to introduce me to your new girlfriend? I nod toward the woman, who looks confused. This is Eliza. Michael says carefully. My cousin's friend. She's helping me with the apartment redesign. I feel heat rush to my face. Oh, Eliza, this is Natalia, He hesitates. My wife. Soon-to-be ex-wife, apparently, I say bitterly. Eliza shifts uncomfortably. I should probably go. Michael, we can finish this another time. After she leaves, Michael turns to me with tired eyes. Was that necessary? You're already dating? I'm not dating anyone. But even if I was, we're separated, Natalia. You don't get to act jealous anymore. I sink into the chair Eliza vacated. I miss you. Michael sighs. No, you don't. You miss having someone to control. His words hit me like a physical blow. That's not fair. Isn't it? When was the last time you asked about my day and actually listened to the answer? When was the last time you supported something I wanted to do instead of mocking it? When was the last time you touched me with affection instead of obligation? I open my mouth to protest, but no words come out. I can't remember. I deserve better, he says simply, and so do you. As he walks away, I sit alone in the food court, surrounded by shoppers, thinking, what if he's right? 2 months after Michael left, I'm standing in front of my house as a real estate agent hammers a for sale sign into the front yard. The autumn wind whips my hair across my face, and I tug my sweater tighter around me. It's a great time to sell, the agent says cheerfully. The market in this neighborhood is hot right now. I nod numbly. Michael and I had decided, through our lawyers, that selling the house and splitting the proceeds was the cleanest option. But standing here watching it become official makes my chest ache. My phone buzzes. A text from Rachel. Having drinks at Evergreen Tavern tonight. 7 p.m. You should come. I haven't seen our mutual friends much since the separation. I know they've been in contact with Michael. I've seen the photos on social media. Barbecues I wasn't invited to. A hiking trip where everyone looks happy without me. I text back. I'll be there. At 7 sharp, I'm walking through the doors of Evergreen Tavern, a rustic bar on the edge of town. I spot Rachel, Cassie, and a few others at a table near the back. Taking a deep breath, I make my way over. Hey, I say, trying to sound casual. There's a momentary pause before Rachel smiles. Natalia, glad you could make it. The conversation is strained at first, revolving around safe topics like work and TV shows. I down my first glass of wine too quickly and signal for another. So, I say during a lull, has anyone seen Michael lately? The table goes quiet. Rachel and Cassie exchange a look. He's doing well, Rachel says carefully. He moved into a new apartment downtown. I know where he lives, I say, irritation coloring my voice. I meant, how is he? Cassie takes a sip of her drink. He seems good, more relaxed. He's been coming to Tyler's basketball games, Ben's wife Megan adds. He never missed them before, but now he seems to really enjoy them. He's losing weight too, Rachel says, started some kind of fitness class. Each word feels like a tiny needle. Michael is thriving without me. The realization sits heavy in my stomach. He's dating someone, Cassie says suddenly, and the table goes silent again. Who? I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. Her name is Leah. She's a landscape architect. They met at some work event. I drain my second glass of wine. Good for him, I say, trying to keep my voice steady. I'm seeing someone too, actually. The lie slips out before I can stop it. Oh? Rachel raises an eyebrow. Anyone we know? No, he's a client at my firm. Very successful, handsome. I embellish, digging myself deeper. It's still new, but he's taking me to Bali next month. I can tell they don't believe me, and something about their pitying glances makes me angry all over again. You know what? I push back from the table. I don't need this. You're all supposed to be my friends too, not just his. We are your friends, Rachel says. That's why we agreed to see you tonight, but you can't expect us to pretend Michael wasn't wronged here. One mistake, I say, voice rising. I made one mistake. It wasn't one mistake, Natalia, Cassie says quietly. It was years of them. The slap was just the final straw. I grab my purse and stand up. If that's what you think of me, maybe we shouldn't be friends at all. As I storm out into the parking lot, I can feel tears threatening. They're wrong, I think. They don't know our marriage. They don't know me. But a small voice in the back of my mind whispers, don't they? 3 months after Michael left, I'm sitting in a sterile conference room at my lawyer's office, signing divorce papers. The table between us might as well be an ocean. Michael looks different, trimmer, more confident. He's wearing a blue shirt I've never seen before that brings out his eyes. Is that all? I ask the lawyer when the last document is signed. That's everything, she confirms. The house sale will be finalized next week, and the proceeds split as agreed. You'll both receive copies of the final decree once it's processed by the court. Michael stands and shakes the lawyer's hand. Thank you. As we walk out of the building together, an awkward silence hangs between us. 5 years of marriage reduced to signatures on paper. It seems impossible. So, I say, desperate to keep him there a little longer. I hear you're seeing someone. He hesitates. Yes. Is it serious? Natalia? I just want to know if she's making you happy, I say, surprising myself with my sincerity. Michael studies me for a moment. She is. But more importantly, I'm making myself happy. For the first time in a long time. The words sting, but I nod. I'm glad. He looks like he wants to say more, but instead just nods. Take care of yourself, Natalia. As he walks to his car, I call after him. I'm sorry, Michael, for everything. He pauses, turns back. I know. I hope you find what you're looking for. Watching him drive away, I think, what am I looking for? Who am I without him? 4 months after Michael left, I'm standing in my empty house for the last time. The sale has closed, and tomorrow the new owners take possession. My footsteps echo on the bare floors as I walk from room to room. In the bedroom, I remember lazy Sunday mornings and whispered conversations. In the living room, movie nights and holiday gatherings. In the backyard, summer barbecues in the garden Michael tended so carefully. I sit on the floor of what used to be our office, leaning against the wall where Michael's desk once stood. I close my eyes and let the tears come. Not just for the end of my marriage, but for the woman I became inside it. The woman who took her husband's love for granted. The woman who thought cruelty was a form of honesty. The woman who raised her hand in anger when words failed her. My phone buzzes, a reminder that I need to be out by 5 p.m. I've arranged to stay with my parents while I get back on my feet. The irony isn't lost on me. At 33, I'm starting over from scratch. As I lock the front door for the last time, I think about the life Michael and I planned here. The children we talked about having. The holidays we'd host. The years we'd grow old together. All gone now, scattered like dust. 6 months after Michael left, I'm sitting at my parents' dining table, helping my mother fold laundry. The house smells like the pot roast she's making for dinner, my favorite as a child, but it brings me no comfort now. Alice called today, my mother says casually. She saw Michael at the farmer's market. Alice is my mother's friend, a well-meaning gossip who's been updating my parents on Michael's life since our separation. Oh? I try to sound disinterested, but my heart still races at the mention of his name. He was with that woman again, the architect. Alice says they were picking out plants together. She pauses, watching me. She also said he looked happy, healthy. I focus on folding a towel into a perfect rectangle. Good for him. Natalia, my mother says softly, it's been 6 months. Maybe it's time to talk about what happened, really talk about it. I've avoided the subject with my parents, giving them only the barest details. We grew apart. Irreconcilable differences, the standard lines. I couldn't bear to see the disappointment in their eyes if they knew the truth. There's nothing to talk about, I say, reaching for another towel. It's over. Is it? Because you don't seem to be moving on. I look up, ready to argue, but the concern in her eyes stops me. I hit him, Mom, I admit in a small voice. One night during an argument, I slapped him. My mother's hands go still. Oh, Natalia. It was just once, I hurry to add, and I didn't mean to. It just happened. Things like that don't just happen, she says, her voice gentle but firm. They build up over time. I stare down at the half-folded towel in my hands. I was cruel to him. For years. I thought it was normal. I thought it was what wives did. Is that what you think your father and I did? How we treated each other? I think about my parents' marriage. 40 years of partnership, disagreements settled with measured words and compromise, never with contempt or violence. No, I whisper. My mother reaches across the table and takes my hand. You need help, sweetheart, not just to get over Michael, but to understand why you treated someone you loved that way. The truth of her words settles over me. For the first time, I don't deflect or argue. I know. 1 year after Michael left, I'm sitting on a bench in Ridgewood Park, the same park where our marriage began its final unraveling. The autumn leaves crunch under my feet as I sip coffee from a paper cup. I've been seeing a therapist for 6 months now, learning about myself, about my need for control, my fear of vulnerability, my tendency to push away the people who love me most. It's been painful, but necessary. I have my own apartment now, small but mine, a new job at a different firm. I'm slowly rebuilding friendships, making amends where I can. Some people have forgiven me. Others haven't. I'm learning to accept both outcomes. I spot him before he sees me. Michael, jogging along the park path, a black Labrador running happily beside him. He's always wanted a dog. I always said no. He slows as he notices me, hesitates, then approaches. The dog sniffs at my feet curiously. Natalia, he says, slightly out of breath. How are you? Better, I say honestly. Much better. How about you? Good. He gestures to the dog. This is Cooper. I adopted him a couple months ago. I reach down to pet the lab's head. He's beautiful. An awkward silence falls between us, filled with unspoken words and shared history. I heard you moved, Michael says finally. New job too? I nod. Fresh start. It was time. I'm glad. And he looks it, genuinely pleased for me. There's no resentment in his eyes anymore, just a kind of distant fondness. Are you still with? I trail off, not wanting to say her name. Leah? Yes. A small smile touches his lips. We moved in together last month. That's wonderful, I say, and mean it. You deserve to be happy, Michael. He studies me for a moment, as if trying to reconcile the woman before him with the one he left. So do you, Natalia. Cooper tugs at his leash, eager to continue their run. Michael glances down at him, then back at me. I should get going. Of course. I manage a smile. It was good to see you. He nods. You too. As I watch him jog away, Cooper bounding alongside him, I don't feel the crushing pain I expected. Instead, there's a quiet acceptance, maybe even a touch of hope. I pull out my phone and open my therapy app, scheduling my next session. The path forward is still uncertain, but for the first time in a long time, I'm not afraid to walk it. As I leave the park, I think about the woman I was a year ago and the woman I'm becoming now. I think about consequences and growth, pain and healing. I think about Michael finding happiness without me and how that can be okay. I think, this isn't the end of my story. It's just the beginning of a new chapter. And for now, that's enough.